एंड ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ डेटा, आंकड़ों का आरेखीय एवं रेखाचित्रीय निरूपण। Introduction. One of the most convincing and appealing way in which statistical results may be presented through diagrams and graphs. Just one diagram is enough to represent a given data more effectively than 1000 words. मतलब एक डायग्राम से आंकड़े को रिप्रेजेंट करना 1000 वर्ड से बेहतर है। इट इज इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड द डायग्राम इवन फॉर ऑर्डिनरी पीपल। एक सामान्य व्यक्ति के लिए डायग्राम को समझना भी बहुत आसान होता है। Significance of diagrams and graphs. They are attractive and impressive. They make data simple and intelligible. They make comparison possible. They save time and labor. They have universal utility. They give more information. They have a great memorizing effect. General rules for constructing diagrams. A diagram should be neatly drawn and attractive. The measurement of geometrical figures used in diagram should be accurate and proportional. The size of diagram should match the size of paper. Every diagram must have a suitable but short heading. The scale should be mentioned in the diagram. Diagram should be neatly as well as accurately drawn with the help of drawing instruments. Index must be given for identification so that the reader can easily make out the meaning of diagram. Footnote must be given at the bottom of the diagram. Economy in cost and energy should be exercised in drawing diagram. First, one-dimensional diagrams. In such diagrams, only one-dimensional measurement, that is height, is used and the width is not considered. And they are of different types. First one is line diagram, second simple diagram, third multiple bar diagrams, fourth subdivided bar diagrams, and fifth percentage bar diagrams. Let us take first line diagram. Line diagram is used in case where there are many items to be shown and there is not much of difference in their values. उनकी values में अगर बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर नहीं है तो हम उनको line diagram के through present कर सकते हैं. Such diagram is prepared by drawing a vertical line for each item according to the scale. The distance between lines is kept uniform. Line diagram makes comparison easy but is less attractive. On x-axis we plot the number of children. This is 0, this is 1 children, this is 2 children, this is 3 children, this is 4 children, this is 5 children, and this is 6 children, and these are the number of families. 10 families have no children, 15 families having 1 children, 8 families having 2 children, 6 families having 3 children, 4 family having 4 children, and 2 families having 5 children, and no family having 6 children. Simple bar diagram. Simple bar diagram can be drawn either on horizontal or vertical base. Bars must be uniform width and intervening space between bars must be equal. While constructing a simple bar diagram, the scale is determined on the basis of the highest value in the series. To make the diagram attractive, the bar can be colored. Bar diagrams are useful in business and economics. Simple bar diagram, we can construct bar diagram like this. Let us have an example. The data represent the following data by bar diagrams. These are the years and production in tons. In 1991, 45 tons, 1992, 42 tons, 1993, 42 tons, 1994, 55 tons, 1995, 50 tons. On the x-axis we take the years and on y-axis we take the production in tons. In 1991, production is 45. Thus, by the different bars, we present the production in tons. In 1992, that is 40 tons. In 1993, 42 tons, 1994 55 tons, and 1995 50 tons. Multiple bar diagrams. Multiple bar diagram is used for comparing two or more sets of statistical data. Bars are constructed side by side to represent the set of values for comparison. In order to distinguish bars, they may be either differently colored or they should be different types of crossing or dotting pattern. An index is also prepared to identify the meaning of different colors of dotting. Let us take an example. Draw a multiple bar diagram for following data. In 1998, profit before tax was 195 lakhs in rupees and profit after tax was 80 lakhs. In 1999, a company having profit before tax is 200 lakhs while profit after tax is 87 lakhs. In 2000, profit before tax was 165, profit after tax was 45 lakhs. In 2001, profit before tax was 140 lakhs while profit after tax was 32 lakhs. These profit before tax and profit after tax can be shown in multiple bar diagram. Here we take the years on x-axis and profit on y-axis. First bar represent the profit before tax and the second bar represent the profit after tax. Uh, this is 1998 bars. These are the 1999 bars. 2000, these are the 2000 years bars, and these are the 2001 bars. This is for profit before tax and this is for profit after tax. Subdivided bar diagram. In subdivided bar diagrams, the bar is subdivided into various parts in proportion to the various values given in the data, and the whole bar represent the total. Such diagrams are also called component bar diagrams. The divisions are distinguished by different colors or different crossing patterns. The main defect of such a diagram is that all the parts do not have a common base to enable one to compare accurately the various components of the data. Let us take an example. Represent the following data by subdivided bar diagrams. These are the expenditure items: food, clothing, education, house rent, and miscellaneous. And these are the monthly expenditure by family A and family B. Family A expenditure on food is 75 rupees, on clothing 20 rupees, education 15, housing rent 40, and miscellaneous 25. While family B having monthly expenditure on food items 95, clothing 25, education is 10, housing rent 65, and miscellaneous 35. The figures are depicted through this graph. Here this is a family A subdivided bar diagram and this is the family B subdivided bar diagram, and we plot the different uh, expenditure items on the y-axis. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. On x-axis we take the expenditure. This is the 75 rupees expenditure on food, then after 25 rupees on clothing, 15 rupees on education, then 40 rupees on housing rent, and last miscellaneous expenditure is 25. Thus we plot the data on subdivided bar diagram. Similarly we plot the data for family B here. Percentage bar diagram. The components are not the actual values but percentage of the whole. These percentage bar diagrams are the extension of subdivided bar diagrams. All the values are converted into the percentage. Let us take an example. Represent the following data by a percentage bar diagram. Particulars: selling price of a factory A is 400 rupees, quantity sold 240 rupees, wages are 3500 rupees, materials 2100 rupees, and miscellaneous expenditures is 1400 rupees. While factory B selling price are 650 rupees, quantity sold is 365, wages are 5000, materials 3500, and miscellaneous expenditure is 2100. First, we calculate the percent contribution toward the selling price, that is total expenditure of factory A is 7640. Out of 400 they use for selling price. Then the percentage is to calculate the percentage, 400 divided by 77,640 multiplied by 100, that is comes around 5%. 2040 divided by 7640 multiplied by 100, that is 3%. 3500 divided by 7640, that is 46%, and so on. We calculate the percentage. Likewise, we calculate the percentage for factory B. 6650 divided by 11615 multiplied by 100, that is 6. 365 divided by 11615, that is 3. 5000 divided by 11615 divided by 100, that is multiplied by 100, that is 43%. Likewise, we calculate the percentage and we show these percentages in the graph. These are the subdivided percentage bar diagram for factory A, and this is factory B, and these percentages are given in the form of this percentage subdivided bar diagrams, percentage bar diagrams, and this is the index. Two-dimensional diagram. In two-dimensional diagrams, the area represents the data, and so the length and width have both to be taken into account. Such diagrams are also called area diagram or surface diagram. The important types of area diagrams are rectangles, squares, and pie diagrams. Rectangles. Rectangles are used to represent the relative magnitude of two or more values. The area of the rectangles are kept in proportion to the values. Rectangles are placed side by side for comparison. We may represent the figures as they are given or may convert them to percentage and then subdivided the length into various components. Let us take an example. Represent the following data by subdivided percentage rectangular diagram. Family income is rupees 5000 and item wise expenditure of the family is on fooding 2000, clothing 100, house rent 800, fuel and lighting 400, miscellaneous 800, total 5000. Family income of B is 8000 and the expenditure of the family on food is 2500, clothing is 2000, house rent on 1000, fuel and lighting 500, miscellaneous 2000, total 8000 expenditure. Again we calculate the percentage here. 2000 divided by 5000 multiplied by 100, that is 40%. 1000 divided by 5000 multiplied by 100, that is 20%, and so on, and total is 100%. Likewise, calculation of family B, 2500 divided by 8000, that is 31. 2000 divided by 8000 multiplied by 100, that is 25, and so on, and total percentages are 100. Subdivided percentage rectangular diagrams are represented here. This is the family A expenditure, this is the family B expenditure, and these are the percentages. On y-axis we take the percentage and we represent the percentage of expenditure of family A here, and percentage expenditure of family B is here, and this is the index of the graph. Squares. The rectangular method of diagramic representation is difficult to use where the values of items vary widely. The method of drawing a square diagram is very simple. One has to take the square root of the values of various items that are to be shown in the diagrams and then select a suitable scale to draw the squares. Yield of rice in kgs per acre of 5 countries are given in the table. Countries USA, Australia, UK, Canada and India. Yield of rice in kgs per hectare are 6,400, Australia 1,600, UK 2,500, Canada 3,600 and India 4,900. Represent the above data by square diagram. To draw the square diagram, we calculate as follows. Rice yield in USA is 6,400 kg, Australia 1,600, UK 2,500, Canada 3,600, India 4,900. Square roots are 80, 40, 50, 60 and 70 and side of the squares in centimeters are 4, 2, 2.5, 3 and 3.5. This is a 4 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter square, this is 2.5 centimeter square, this is a 3 centimeter and this is the 3.5 centimeters. Pie diagram or circular diagram. Pie diagram or circular diagram. In such diagram, both the total and the component parts of select sectors can be shown. The area of a circle is proportional to the square of the radius. While making comparisons, pie diagram should be used on a percentage basis and not on absolute basis. Example, draw a pie diagram of following data of production of sugar in quintals of various countries. Cuba 62 quintal, Australia 47, India 35, Japan 16 and Egypt 6. First we calculate the degrees. To calculate the degrees, we first total the production. Here 166 total quintal production and 62 divided by 166 multiplied by 360 we get 134 degree angle for this Cuba. 47 divided by 166 that is 360 multiplied by 360 that is 102 degree and that is Australia 47. Thereafter India 35 divided by 166 multiplied by 360 that is 76 degree India and so on 35 degree for Japan and 13 degree for Egypt. This is the pie diagram of the production of sugar in different countries in India and Cuba, Australia, Japan and Egypt. Three-dimensional diagram. These are also known as volume diagram. It consists of cubes, cylinders, or spheres, etc. In such diagrams, three things, namely length, width, and height, have to be taken into account. Of all the figures, making of cubes is very easy. Side of the cube is drawn in proportion to the cube root of magnitude of the data. Cubes of the figures can be ascertained with the help of logarithms. The logarithms of the figures can be divided by 3 and the antilog of the values will be the cube root. Represent the following data by volume diagram. Category and number of students in a university. Undergraduate 64,000, postgraduate 27,000 and professionals are 8,000. Represent this data in three-dimensional diagrams. Solution. The sides of the cubes can be determined as follows. In undergraduate category, the number of students are 64,000 and 40 is the cube root of 64,000 and side of the cube is 4. Postgraduate students are 27,000, 30 is the cube root of 27,000 and 3 centimeter is the side of the cube. 8,000 professionals are in that university and 20 is the cube root of 8,000 and 2 centimeters the side of the cube, and we prepare the cube like 4 centimeter cube for undergraduate, 3 centimeter cube for postgraduate and 2 centimeter cube for professionals. Pictograms. Pictograms are not abstract presentations such as lines or bars, but really depict the kind of data we are dealing with. Pictures are attractive and easy to comprehend, and as such, this method is particularly useful in presenting statistics to the layman. When pictograms are used, data are represented through a pictorial symbol that is carefully selected. This is a pictogram of the fruits liked by the children, and these are the fruits, and these are the favorite fruits. Apple liked by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. Banana liked by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Strawberry liked by 1, 2, 3, and pear by 2, and grape by 4 children. These can be shown by the pictograms. Cartograms. Cartograms are statistical maps are used to give quantitative information as geographical basis. They are used to represent spatial distributions. The quantities on the map can be shown in many ways, such as through shades or colors or dots or placing pictogram in each graphical units. This is a population density pictograms of population in India in 2011. 0 to 50 population density in this yellow shaded, 50 to 100 in dark yellow shade, 100 to 150 in orange shaded, and in red color 150 to 200 population density found in India. This is a cartograms. Graphs. A graph is a visual form of presentation of statistical data. A graph is more attractive than a table of figures. Even a common man can understand the message of data from the graph. Comparisons can be made between two or more phenomena very easily with the help of the graph. There are different types of graphs: histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, ogives, and Lorentz curve. फर्स्ट टेक हिस्टोग्राम, इसे हिंदी में आयतचित्र भी कहते हैं. ये हिस्टोग्राम इज ए बार चार्ट आर ग्राफ showing the frequency of occurrence of each value of the variable being analyzed. In histogram, data are plotted as a series of rectangles. Class intervals are shown on x-axis and frequencies are on y-axis. The height of each rectangle represents the frequency of the class intervals. Each rectangle is formed with the other so as to give a continuous picture. Such a graph is also called staircase or block diagram. We cannot construct a histogram for distribution with open-end classes, and if the classes are given in inclusive form, histogram can be prepared only for exclusive class intervals only. If we want to construct the histogram for inclusive class interval, first we have to convert those inclusive class intervals into exclusive class intervals. Let us take an example of exclusive class intervals. Draw a histogram from the following data. Daily wages in rupees are given. 0 to 50 rupees number of workers are 8. 50 to 100 rupees daily wages workers are 16. 100 to 150 rupees daily wages workers are 27. 150 to 200 are 19. 200 to 250 rupees daily wages are 10, and 250 to 300 daily wages are 6. We have to depict this data through histogram. To prepare a histogram, first we take a graph paper and make x-axis like this and y-axis like this, and on x-axis we draw a line and put the values of class intervals here. These are the daily wages in rupees. 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 200, 200 to 250, and 250 to 300 are plotted here. and on the number of workers our frequencies are plotted on the y-axis. We prepare first rectangle for 0 to 50. Here the frequencies number of workers are 8, so we prepare first rectangle like this. Here then 50 to 100, we have frequency 16, it goes here 16, and we prepare this rectangle here adjoining to the 0 to 50. Then the next rectangle we prepare 100 to 150, it has the highest frequency, that is 27, it is prepared like this, and we prepare this. And for 150 to 200 there are 19 workers, 19 workers are plotted here, and for 200 to 250 10 workers are plotted here, and 250 to 306 workers are plotted here. This is a histogram, and all the rectangles are prepared like this, and the height of the rectangle is proportional to the number of workers, that is frequency. This is a presentation of data through histogram. If inclusive class intervals are given, we have to prepare a histogram for the following data: marks obtained by students. The ranges are given: 21 to 30 marks obtained by 6 students in examination, 31 to 40 marks obtained by 15 students, 41 to 50 marks are obtained by 22 students, 51 to 60 marks obtained by 31 students, 61 to 70 marks obtained by 17 students, and 71 to 80 marks obtained by 9 students. Here we see the class intervals are given in inclusive form. If we plot these intervals on the graph paper, we see the numbers are 21 to 30, and there is a break 31 to 40. So the rectangles are away from each other. So first we make these class intervals inclusive form to exclusive form like this. How to convert these inclusive class intervals to exclusive class intervals? This is a method. Take a upper limit of any class interval and lower limit of next class interval. Subtract the lower limit of the class interval with the upper limit of the previous class interval, that is 31 minus 30, that is difference is 1, and 1 is divided by 2, that is 0.5. Then here lower limit of any class interval is 21, first class interval, we subtract 0.5 from the lower limit, that is 20.5, and 8.5 to the upper limit of the first class interval. Then we get the first class interval 20.5 to 30.5. The next class interval is in inclusive form, that is 31 to 40. We subtract 0.5 from 31, we get 30.5, and we add 40 to 0.5 and we get 40.5. The next class interval is 32.5 to 40.5. Next class interval is 40.5 to 50.5, and again next class interval is 50.5 to 60.5, and we construct all these exclusive class interval, and the frequency remain unchanged. The number of students are 6, 15, 22, 31, 17 and 9. And now we can make a histogram from these data. We plot the marks here. The marks range is 20.5 to 30.5, 30.5 to 40.5, 40.5 to 50.5, 50.5 to 60.5, 60.5 to 70.5, and 70.5 to 80.5. And for the respective class interval, we plot the frequencies like this and draw the rectangles adjoining with each other, and this is a histogram of the data given in that example. If the class interval not of equal width, if the class intervals are not of equal widths, we cannot prepare the histogram directly from those data. First we have to convert those class intervals into equal class width. Draw a histogram of the following data. The profit in lakhs 0 to 10 number of companies are 4, 10 to 20 lakhs, number of companies are 12, 20 to 30, number of companies are 24, 30 to 50, number of companies are 32, 50 to 80, number of companies are 18, 80 to 90, number of companies are 9, and 90 to 100, number of companies are 3. Here we see the first class interval having width 10 minus 0 is 10, second class interval is also having 20 minus 10, again 10. In third class interval we have width is 30 minus 20 is 10. In fourth class interval we have width 30 minus 50, that is 20. And in next class interval the width is 80 minus 50, that is 30. Again we have width 10 and 10. So we have to make equal width of 10 these two class interval, or we divide those frequencies like this. When the class intervals are unequal, a correction for unequal class interval must be made. The frequencies are adjusted as follows. The frequency of class interval 30 to 50 shall be divided into, since the class interval is in double, there is a difference of 30 to 50 having frequency 16 and 16, 32, then 30 to 40 16, and 40 to 50 16. Again next class interval 50 to 80 is divided in three categories: 50 to 60 6, 60 to 76, and 70 to 86. 18 frequency are divided in 3. Here 32 frequency divided in 2, 16 16, 6 6 6, and 80 to 90 is 9, and 90 to 100 is 10. Now we may draw a histogram from this data. These are depicted here: 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. And this is a histogram of the data of previous table. Frequency polygon. If we mark the midpoint of the top horizontal sides of the rectangles in a histogram and join them by a straight line, the figures is formed is called a frequency polygon. This is done under the assumption that the frequencies in a class intervals are evenly distributed throughout the class. The area of the polygon is equal to the area of the histogram because the area left outside is just equal to the area included in it. Just I am showing through the example. Draw a frequency polygon for the following data: 30 to 35, number of students 4, this is the weight range of a student, and 35 to 40 are 7, 40 to 45 are 10, 45 to 50 kg range are 18, 50 to 55 kg weights are 14 students, 55 to 60 are 8, and 60 to 65 are 3. First we draw a histogram: 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, and 55 to 60, and 60 to 65. We draw a histogram by using the previous method like that, and draw a midpoint on each of the rectangle. This is the midpoints of the rectangle. These are the midpoints of the rectangle. These are the midpoints of the rectangle. Again we interpolate a class interval that is 25 to 30, and this is the midpoint of that class interval, and one more class interval is extrapolated, that is 65 to 17, and this is the midpoint of that class interval. And we draw a straight line from this point to this point, this point to this midpoint, this point to this midpoint, this point to this midpoint, this midpoint to this midpoint, this midpoint to this midpoint, this midpoint to this midpoint, and this midpoint to this midpoint of the class interval. Here we see that the area included here, this area is left, this area is included, this area is left, this area is included, this area is left, this area is included, this area is left, this area is left, this area included, this area is left, this area included, this area is left, this area included, this area is left, this area included. It means the area covered by this histogram is same as the area covered by this histogram. This is another way of presentation of the data. Next, frequency curve. If the middle points of the upper boundaries of the rectangle of a histogram is corrected by a smooth freehand curve, then the diagram is called frequency curve. The curve should begin and end at the baseline. But it doesn't touches to baseline. The daily wages are 0 to 50, number of workers are 8, 50 to 100 wages are 16, 100 to 150 are 27, 150 to 200 are 19, 200 to 250 are 10, 250 to 300 are 6. Let us draw a histogram like this for 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 200, 200 to 250 and 250 to 300. And these are the midpoints of the rectangles. And if we draw a freehand curve, red color is like this. This is known as frequency curve. It never touches to x-axis, starting at the end. This is another way of representing the data through frequency curve. What is the difference between frequency curve and frequency polygon? In frequency polygon, we connect these 2 points through straight line, midpoints connect through straight line, while in frequency distribution, we connect these 2 points through a freehand curve. This is the main difference, and this curve doesn't touches to x-axis, while in histogram these lines touches to the x-axis. This is the major difference between the histogram and frequency polygon and frequency curve. Calculation of mode through histogram. We can calculate mode through histogram. What is mode? Mode is the most frequent value in the series is called mode, and here highest frequent rectangle is 50.5 to 60.5. This is the highest frequent rectangle. Number of students are highest here, so the mode lies in that class interval, and we draw a line from 40.5 to 50.5, this point to 60.5, and other line from 50.5 to 60.5 here. And from cross section of this point, we draw a straight line perpendicular on x-axis. That point is called mode. By graphical method, we can calculate the mode by use of histogram. Mode can be calculated through the histogram graphical method. What are the OGUs? For a set of observations, we know how to construct a frequency distribution. In some cases, we may require the number of observations less than a given value or more than a given value. This is obtained by cumulating the frequencies up to the given value. This cumulated frequency is called cumulative frequency. These cumulative frequencies are then listed in the table is called cumulative frequency table. The curve table is obtained by plotting these cumulative frequencies is called a cumulative frequency curve or an OGUs. OGUs are the less than OGUs method and the more than OGUs method. In the less than OGUs method, we start with the upper limits of the classes and go on adding the frequencies. When these frequencies are plotted, we get a rising curve. In more than OGUs method, we start with the lower limit of the classes and from the total frequencies, we subtract the frequencies of each class. When these frequencies are plotted, we get the declining curve, that is known as more than type. Let us take an example. Draw the OGUs for the following data. These are the class intervals, or we say these are the marks obtained by the students out of 100, and these are the number of frequencies. Class into 20 to 30 marks obtained by 4 students, 30 to 40 marks obtained by 6 students, 40 to 50 marks obtained by 13 students, 50 to 60 marks obtained by 25 students, 60 to 70 marks obtained by 32 students, 70 to 80 marks obtained by 19 students, 80 to 90 marks obtained by 8 students, and 90 to 100 marks obtained by 3 students. Let us take a less than type cumulative frequency and more than type cumulative frequency here. How we construct how we prepare the less than type and more than type frequency. These are the class limits. More than 20 marks. This is the less than type. Less than 20 marks obtained by 0 student. Less than 30 marks obtained by 4 students. Less than 40 marks obtained by 4 plus 6, 10 students. Less than 50 marks obtained by 10 plus 13, 23 students. Less than 60 marks obtained by 23 plus 25, that is 48. Less than 70 marks obtained by 48 plus 32, that is 80 marks. Less than 80 marks obtained by 80 plus 19 student, that is 99. Less than 90 marks obtained by 99 plus 80 student, that is 107. Less than 100 marks obtained by 110 students. How we get the more than type cumulative frequency? More than 20 marks obtained by 110 students. More than 30 marks obtained by 100 minus 4, that is 106. More than 40 marks obtained by 100 students. (110 minus) this is 6 plus 4, that is 10. We subtract 6 plus 4, that is 10. 100 more than 40 marks. 100 minus 13 is 87. More than 60 marks, we subtract the frequency and get, that is 62 students. More than 70 marks, that is 30. More than 80 marks is 11, and more than 90 are 3, and more than 100 are 0. More than 90 only 3 students, and more than 100 are 0. In other way, we can also find the more than type of frequency. More than 100 are 0. More than 90 are 3. More than 80 are 8 plus 3 is 11. More than 70 are, we adding 19 to 11, that is 30. More than 60 are, we add 30 plus 32, that is 62. More than 50 are 62 plus 25, that is 87. More than 40 are 87 plus 13, that is 100. More than 30 are 100 plus 6, that is 106. And more than 20 are 106 plus 4, that is 100. These are the more than type and less than type frequencies. When we plot these frequencies on the graph, we see here. This is a more than type cumulative frequency curve, and this is the less than type cumulative frequency curve. This is a less than type cumulative frequency curve. This is the more than type cumulative frequency curve. On x-axis we take the 10 units, and on the y-axis 1 centimeter equal to 10 units. These are the class limits: 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. And these are the cumulative frequencies we plot here, and this is a more than type cumulative OGUs cumulative frequency. This is the less than type cumulative frequency. We can calculate the median through the OGUs. This is a intersection point of both the cumulative frequencies more than type and less than type, and we draw a perpendicular line on y-axis like this, and a perpendicular line on x-axis, and this point is the median marks obtained by the students, and we can calculate the median through this graphical method. Thanks.